in this session we will continue the lesson of Earth, Sun and Moon, and in today's session we will study about the Moon in detail. So let us start with this session, children. Yes, so first of all we should know that what is actually Moon. Yes, Moon also appears like a ball-like structure like the Sun and the other planets which we studied, and Moon is actually made up of the rocks and has no air on it. Now as we know that Moon is the natural satellite of the Earth, and the distance between the Moon and the Earth is 3,84,400 kilometers. As we know that Moon does not have any light of its own. The moonlight which we see is the only reflected sunlight. Let us have a look at one diagrammatic representation of this light. Yes, as you can see here in this picture, this is our Sun, this is Moon and Earth. The Sun is a star, Moon a satellite, and Earth a planet. As we know that stars do twinkle, but planets do not twinkle like the stars, because planets or the satellites do not have the light of their own. It is the reflected sunlight which we view. Whenever we view from the Earth, we see the light at night, which is actually the reflected sunlight, and that we consider as the moonlight, right? So moonlight means that is not the actual light of the moon, but it is the reflected sunlight. Now you will be very amazed to know that there are some theories about the moon because of which it came into existence. Now the moon came out of the crust of the earth, and some believe that the earth and the moon formed together out of some nebulae. By whatever means it came into existence, as the moon finished forming, or the moon formation got over about 4 billion years ago, the surface of the moon continued to be bombarded by the remains of the planetary material, and this period is the same for all the planets, and that is why it is called the period of heavy bombardment. And during this time the moon was warmed, separated into the core and the mantle, and experienced the volcanism. There is abundant evidence of volcanic plains which occurred during this time on the surface of the moon. And towards the end of this period, scientists think that the moon experienced a series of significant collisions which formed what we know today as the lunar marea. So the impact basins formed by the collisions flooded with the darker material from the interior of the moon formed smoother and the darker plains, and because of this we say that some of the holes occurred or appeared on the moon. So why and how did this take place? Let us have a look and let us study more about moon. Yes, this is a picture of the moon. Because of its small size, the moon would have cooled very rapidly. That the scientists believe that because of its small size, the moon would have cooled very rapidly compared with the Earth. With the period of the bombardment which stopped, the moon cooled completely to form what we see today. Now you must be imagining that the moon which we see today is actually very much cooled. This is the fact. This is the evidence that millions and billions of years ago there used to be bombardment in the world of our solar system, and because of which our sun grew and our sun was born, and even the other clumps formed the planets, minor planets, dwarf planets, and asteroids and comets were formed. In the same way this moon was formed. So when this period of bombardment was over, the moon cooled completely to another form, and because of this the surface activity which took place in the surface or on the surface of the moon ceased once the moon started cooling down. Even the interior of the moon, which seemed to have so much bombarded with so many planetary material, have cooled down, and they are now inactive totally. So we can say the moon which we see today is very much different from the moon which was formed millions and billions of years ago. So let us now study the interesting thing about moon. that is the surface of the moon. Yes, as we observe the moon with naked eye, we will observe, or we will probably notice, that some areas are darker than the others, as we saw in the picture. This is because long ago there were many comets and asteroids which frequently hit the worlds of our solar system, right? And every once in a while a very large object would crash into the moon hard enough to break through its surface rock, causing lava to ooze out. And because of this, the holes appeared on the moon. So what actually happened? The darker areas appeared, and whenever we used to observe, some areas were darker, or some areas are actually darker than the others, right? So why this darker areas appeared? Because of the large object which would crash into the moon and which caused the lava to ooze out. So whenever we see a darker area, we are actually looking at the ancient bed of lava rock which was formed from one of the impacts which took place millions of or billions of years ago. So the main difference between that moon and now the moon which we see is that if a large object struck the moon today, it would not cause a volcano. This is because the core of the moon has now completely cooled down, meaning there is no longer any lava in the core to ooze out from its rock surface, and that is why these darker areas are noticed. And the other areas, which are the lighter areas on the surface of the moon, are where the objects have crashed into this surface of the moon recently. Recently in astronomy terms means 1 million years ago, right? So the darker areas appeared more or a very long ago than these lighter areas appeared on the surface of the moon. So in the photographs of the moon, we can see large scars called craters, which were caused due to the crashing of the large objects which were continuously going on, and these craters are actually formed on the surface of the moon. So what are actually craters? They are the deep holes that have been made when solid bodies called as meteorites crashed into the moon's surface. So let us see one picture of the moon crater. Yes, this is a picture of a moon crater. What can you see here? Yes, this one. So many such craters are present on the surface of the moon. They are actually caused by the collisions between the moon and the other objects such as asteroids or comets, right? So this is the surface of the moon which we see today. So what happened actually which appeared millions of billions of years ago on the surface of the moon? What happened to the lava that occurred on the surface of the moon? Yes, the lava that flowed from these craters covered the earlier craters and made them look smooth and dark. Now you must be imagining that the craters appeared billions of years ago, but then too we can see the craters today. Why? Now you must be thinking that as all the planet's surface change by time, why the surface of the moon didn't change? Why anything didn't change on the surface of the moon? Why the craters didn't get disappeared on the moon? It is all because which happened billions of years ago. Things have not changed since then because there is no air or water on the moon to cause weathering. And if there is no weathering, then nothing will change. Everything will remain same as it was, whether it was formed millions or billions of years ago or whether it was formed just few months before, right? So because of this, because of having no atmosphere on the moon, there is no atmosphere on the moon, these craters were the same as they used to appear. But the difference was only this much, that lava flowed down from these craters and they covered the earlier craters and they made them look smooth and dark. But then two craters appear on the surface of the moon, right? So this was something very interesting about the surface of the moon. Now let us move on to other topic of the moon, and that is the phases of the moon. Yes, the moon does not have light of its own, as we discussed. As the sun lights it up, the moon circles the earth, which causes the shape of the lit portion to change. So we see different parts of the moon while it orbits around the earth, and these changing shapes are called as the phases of the moon. So what type of changes occur on the moon? What type of phases are there of the moon? Yes, some days we can hardly see the moon because the side lit up is away from the earth, and sometimes it appears darker, sometimes it appears half darker, or sometimes it appears full dark, right? So whenever we see the moon, and if it is the side which is lit up, then this is called a new moon. When a full moon, when somewhat light portion appears, it is called as a new moon. It then appears as a thin crescent shape and then goes on to become a half moon, and it then bulges out to become a gibbous moon and finally a new moon. So these phases of changing the shapes, different shapes from new moon to half moon, new moon to crescent shape, and then half moon, and then gibbous moon, and then finally a full moon. These all are the different shapes which appear, or which are the phases of the moon, and these phases are called as the waxing phase of the moon. So let us understand more clearly with the help of a diagrammatic representation of the phases of the moon. Yes, this is day 1, new moon, where we can see only somewhat lit part of the moon, or we cannot see. Then it appears as a crescent shape where we can see some of the part, but as compared to the new moon we can see more lit part of the lit portion of the moon. Then on day 7 it appears as half moon, then gibbous moon where 70% of the lit portion can be seen, and on the day 14 it appears as a full moon. So this day 1 to day 14, that is the journey from new moon to full moon, these are some of the phases, or these are some of the stages which are called as the waxing phase of the moon. In the same way, from the full moon, then again it appears as a gibbous shape, then on day 21 it will appear as half moon, and then again as a crescent shape, and then finally on day 28 it will appear as a new moon. So this reverse cycle of gibbous forming a new moon from a gibbous one is known as the waning phase of the moon. Let us discuss about it. Yes, after this, that means the full moon which has appeared on the day 14, the cycle reverses and the moon appears gibbous, then a half moon, then a crescent shape, and finally a new moon again. So this reverse cycle is called as the waning phase of the moon. So there are main 2 phases of the moon, and they are waxing phase and the waning phase. I hope you are clear with the phases of the moon. Let us now move on to other interesting topic of the moon, and that is the landing on the moon. Yes, the moon has been explored many times in the last half century. We probably know that astronauts landed on the moon in 1969. And one more thing, did you know that this was not the first successful contact humans made with the moon? And did you know that astronauts landed on the moon more than once? Yes, it's true. Astronauts landed on the moon more than once. So let us see that what kind of mission or what kind of thing happened, or which were the people, which were the astronauts who landed on the moon. Yes, the first men to go to the moon were the crew of the American space mission Apollo 11. But before this, now you must be thinking that it finally took place directly on 1969. No, before this also, before 1969, someone made an attempt, and they were the Soviet Union. In 1959, the Soviet Union launched a probe called as Luna 1 into the space that was supposed to crash into the surface of the moon to study the soil and radiation in space. And this probe unfortunately malfunctioned and it missed hitting the moon. Instead, it flew past the moon and into the space. So contact with this probe was lost as it flew away into the space. So later, that same year, that in 1959 only, the Soviet Union handled this failure and they again tried. And when they tried, they were successful in landing a probe on the moon that was known as the Luna 2. So they were so courageous, they were so brave, and they were so good, and they were so optimistic that after the Luna 1, after the launching of the Luna 1 probe, which was lost and flew away into space, they again tried and they landed a probe on the moon, known as Luna 2. And this probe had sensors on the board that allowed the scientists back on the Earth to study interplanetary space and the gas which was present on the moon. So Luna 2 made actually history because it was the first man-made object to make contact with another object in space. And following this only, Apollo 11 was launched from the Kennedy Space Center at Florida, situated in United States of America, on July 16, 1969. And the rocket that carried it into space was Saturn V. So there were 3 American scientists or 3 American astronauts in Apollo 11 who traveled into the space and who landed on the moon, and they were Neil Armstrong, Edwin Aldrin and Michael Collins. But who was the first one to land on the moon? Let us see. Yes, Neil Armstrong was the first to step out and thus became the first man to set foot on the moon on July 20th, 1969. As we know that they launched on July 16th, and after 4 days on July 20th, Apollo 11 reached to the moon, and Neil Armstrong became the first man to set foot on the moon. After that, Neil Armstrong and Aldrin stayed there for 2.5 hours on the moon, and they collected rock samples to bring back to the Earth. So actually what happened, that this mission was followed by Neil Armstrong was the first human being, right? Neil Armstrong was the first one, and this mission was followed by 5 more successful missions to land on the moon. In total, there were 12 astronauts who walked on the surface of the moon from 1969 to 1972, and the astronauts collected about 382 kilograms of rock samples from the moon during these missions. So how interesting and how amazing it was, right? So they conducted many scientific experiments also, including solar wind experiments, soil, magnetic field experiments and many others. They were also able to travel around on the surface of the moon in the rover vehicle that kind of looked like a dune buggy, right? So it was very amazing. And many scientists consider that the Earth and the Luna or moon to be a double planet system. This is because they are so close in size. Now here you can see one picture, and this is actually the picture. Just imagine, just think that what kind of picture it is. Yes, it is a picture of a footprint. As you know that as the moon has no air or wind, the astronauts' footprints will remain there forever. So this is one such fact which is very interesting and amazing, that moon has no air or wind. That is why there is no cause of weathering, there is no change of weather over there, and that is why whatever gets printed over there, like the astronauts' footprints, remains there forever. So fortunately, if one of you visit the space, just visit the moon nearby, and you can see the footprint. It will be very interesting. So like all these missions were carried out. There were some other missions also which were carried out from 1969 to 1972, and till now also these missions are carried out. But what happened after Apollo 11? Let us see. Yes. After Apollo 11, many more missions have been carried out to the moon and elsewhere in the space. But some spacecraft have been manned, that is, they had crew in them, but many unmanned spacecraft have been sent to the orbit to orbit the moon and bring back information through photographs. That means there are 2 types of spacecraft. Always remember. One is manned and the other one is unmanned, right? But what is the main difference between them? This is the manned and this is unmanned. What is the difference between them? The manned one means which carries the people, right? Means in which mainly we cannot say the people, but the astronauts. The astronauts who travel to the space in this spacecraft means they had crew in them, right? So the manned one means the spacecraft which carry crew in them, the astronauts who travel in that spacecraft. And the other one is unmanned, means the spacecraft in which there is no crew. It is only the spacecraft which can be sent to the orbit the moon. It will land on the moon and it can bring back the information through the photographs, but it carries no astronauts with them, right? So it is the spacecraft with no person or no human being or no people in them. So this is the main difference between the manned and the unmanned spacecraft. So these were some of the interesting things about the moon which we discussed in today's session. I hope you enjoyed this session. So we will meet in the next session with some more information about our solar system. Till then, keep learning, keep enjoying. Thank you, children.